my Prime Minister is very clear, we need to reach every last person with energy. And for that, we will do whatever it takes. Well, oil and gas, we are interested in investing in downstream, upstream, the entire sector, upstream, middle stream, downstream. You have been selling to the south for a long time. You need to start investing in selling to the west or the east. Now, we have created infrastructure which is really going very fast. For us, like I told you, LPG, if you take for example, we right now import about 21 million tons of LPG. And we would like to buy as much LPG as is possible from Canada. Now, how much can Canada reach out? Like I told you, we are a young nation. We are 1.4 billion plus, and we have almost about 750 million youngsters below the age of 25, which is a huge number.
Hi, Commissioner Dinesh Patnaik. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. I wanted to start the conversation with your recent trip to India alongside Prime Minister Carney. What are the big highlights for that trip for Canada, especially when it comes to energy?
The trip was very good. In fact, one of the best trips that I have ever had the privilege of being in my last 35 years of my service. And a sense also a trip which redefines the relationship between the two countries. We signed a large number of agreements. We discussed a large number of issues from AI, innovation, students to agriculture, fertilizers. But at the center of it, I think, is energy. Mm-hmm. And also the very fact that things happened, Iran issue happened when Prime Minister was there. In a sense, both countries realized how important energy is to the relationship between India and Canada, and how important it is for you to diversify your energy into different markets and for us to diversify from looking at certain places to looking across the world, especially at Canada. And so in a sense, both agreed. We've signed MOU on critical minerals, on renewable energy. We will have offtake agreements on oil and gas. We're looking at nuclear. We signed a huge nuclear uranium deal. So in a sense, if you look at the whole visit, energy was at the center. And it should be, because you are already an energy superpower. You have the third, if you look at any criteria, whether it's nuclear, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's critical minerals, any of the items, Canada is an energy superpower. Right. And for us, we are going to be an energy super consumer. And we are a super consumer in the sense 1.4 billion people, growing fast. We have a target of being 30 trillion GDP by 2047, which is the 100 years of our existence as a nation. And so for us to be able to satisfy the growing energy needs of such a huge population and such a burgeoning economic power is very big. And so we are looking at all forms of energy that we can procure. We would like to be independent where it comes to renewables and the coal space, but for oil and gas, we import 70 to 80% of our energy needs. And so we would like to import it from jurisdictions with whom we share values, which are reliable, which in the long run is able to do things without passing through choke points. So between Canada and India, the shipping lanes are such that you don't pass through traditional choke points. So for us, Canada is a natural ally in the energy field.
Okay. I wonder if we can just take a moment maybe to give some context, because you've described the very ambitious GDP growth India wants to pursue. Where are you coming from, and what has been the role of energy on the journey to this greater GDP?
Energy has always been, again, any country, if it has to grow to be a developed economy, has to focus on its energy requirements. Growth without energy is not possible. And so for us, the energy trajectory has changed over the years. We are coal dependent. We are a country with the 5th largest reserves of coal in the world. Even today, even though installed capacity wise it's only 50% of our energy, generated electricity is about 75% of our energy requirements comes from coal. Okay. So for us, the trajectory has always been coal, but at some stage, especially after Prime Minister Modi came into power, our movement towards non-fossil fuel energy has increased rapidly. And we were supposed to, as per our nationally determined Paris commitments, we were supposed to reach 50% of our energy requirements from non-fossil fuel by 2030, which we achieved in 2025. So wow. 5 years ahead of schedule. We today produce about 510 gigawatts of energy, out of which almost 250 gigawatts are from non-fossil fuel energy. And we want to maintain that. We are in the future 35% of global energy requirements, future energy requirements.
India will be 35%
of future energy requirements of the world.
Wow.
And for that, it's a big number. We're trying to reach 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy in India. So we're looking at 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel and a total production of more than 1,000 gigawatts for the country. That's the kind of energy requirement we need.
Wow.
Apart from that, the number of cars, the number of vehicles, airlines, we just last year placed an order for 1,200 new airplanes.
Wow.
So you're looking at an economy which is going to consume energy in a huge number. But we want to consume it sustainably, in a manner in which we do not derail the environment, but at the same time bring prosperity to our people. Mm-hmm. And so for us, playing the balancing act between both of them is very important. And for that, we look for partners like Canada, who have also played a very good role in this, where you produce energy at a very low carbon intensity, where you are able to help us in many of the technologies that you have perfected over the last 20 years, which is CCUS technology, oil sands technology, renewable energy technology, a whole lot of them that we can look at. Secondly, we're looking at partnerships in nuclear field, where there is a lot we can do together. The $2.8 billion uranium deal is just the beginning. We are looking at SMRs, at PHWR reactors, at advanced heavy water reactors. We're looking at a whole lot of issues with Canada. So this is just the beginning. I'm very confident that in the next few years, if everything goes as per plan, the energy relationship between India and Canada will be really a defining relationship.
I hope so. At the time we are speaking, there is a pretty intense conflict in the Middle East that has disrupted 20% of oil supplies globally, 20% of LNG supplies, and has also significantly impacted fertilizer supply. And a lot of that supply used to go to Asia. How has India been impacted by the conflict in the Middle East?
We still haven't been deeply impacted by it, but it's only been a week. And so in the longer term, we will be impacted by it. And so it makes it even more important what my country has been planning, which is to diversify its supply of energy. Like I told you, we are 70 to 80% dependent on energy imports. And for us, we cannot be reliant on a single source, especially where there are choke points which can stop supplies from coming in. So we were looking at around the world. And Canada, if you look at any of the boxes to tick in looking for a good supplier, reliable supplier, Canada ticks all the boxes. And so for us, reaching out to Canada is very important. Prime Minister Carney's visit has done a lot in putting that into place. For me, the next few years of work will be to make sure that whatever has been decided between the two prime ministers is put into place in the next few years.
Mm-hmm. Coming back from that trip, knowing that, I think when we spoke earlier, you said India has like 3 months of strategic reserve. So knowing we want to get things moving, what do you see as the roadmap? What are the next important steps with Canada on this energy partnership we want to grow?
Like I told you, the first thing to do is to get the government framework into place. The MOUs that you need from both sides, MOU on renewable energy, which we just signed, an MOU on critical minerals, which we just signed, offtake agreements between both countries, regulatory framework to be streamlined between both countries, the comprehensive economic partnership agreement signed between both sides. All these will allow for the both sides to be integrated with each other in a more smoother manner. Mm-hmm. So that's the government framework. After that, it will require the private sector and the companies to start working with each other. Many of them know each other, so they have been meeting each other in different places, but there are a lot of smaller companies, a lot of companies in Canada who don't know India well, a lot of Indian companies, smaller companies who don't know Canada well. So my idea is to put both of them together. If you have the proper regulatory framework outside and the companies meeting each other, we don't need to do anything. We just need to step back and allow the private sector to move ahead. They're very good at it because there is money to be made, there is collaborations to be had, technological coalitions to be put in place. You name anything that you want in the energy sector, we can do all of them together. And in all verticals, oil and gas, renewables, nuclear, green hydrogen. And storage, I forget, that's the last one.
Storage. Yes, and I think that's important, and that is not just about you buying, but India sounds like you're interested in investing.
Yes.
Talk a bit about that.
Well, oil and gas, we're interested in investing in downstream, upstream, the entire sector, upstream, middle stream, downstream. Nuclear, same. We want to invest in uranium mines as well as invest in infrastructure, in working with Canada on SMRs, on nuclear fuel, on the whole gamut of things. Want to invest in CCUS technologies, get Canadian companies to work here. For us, we are doing pumped storage batteries in a very good way. We have one of the lowest cost pumped storage batteries in the way. So we would like to come and do that in Canada. Same with green hydrogen today. We have brought down the cost of green hydrogen to a level where it has become viable for many industries to use, especially fertilizer, refineries, steel. Canada has those industries. For us to be able to work with Canada and getting green hydrogen in place for those industries to do. So it's both ways. We would like to buy much more because you have more resources, but we'd also like to work with you on different things, invest with you where it's necessary, do joint ventures, do collaborations, set up research centers. We need to do research on a whole lot of things. So we're working on all those.
I want to ask quickly about infrastructure. Canada has taken a long time in the past to build infrastructure. India is going to need to build infrastructure for the things you want to do. What are ways that Canada and India can collaborate on closing the infrastructure gap?
Now, we have created infrastructure which is really going very fast. For us, like I told you, LPG, if you take for example, we right now import about 21 million tons of LPG. And we would like to buy as much LPG as is possible from Canada. Now, how much can Canada reach out? Same with LNG. We would like to buy as much LNG as possible. We would like to buy crude. We would like to buy more nuclear fuel. We want to buy, we want to get CCUS technology. The whole idea is we are putting up the infrastructure. For us, it is an existential issue. To reach these things to the rest of the country is huge. We put up gas pipelines. We already have, I think, about 250,000 kilometers of gas pipeline. We're putting up much more coming in. We want to connect all the people with the energy sources so that it can reach to the last mile, to the last person. Similarly, Canada has a lot of resources. Canada can sell to the rest of the world, including to India. You have been selling to the south for a long time. You need to start investing in selling to the west or the east. And so those things, if you would have asked me a few years ago, I would have been more pessimistic. Right now, given the mood in the country, given the way Prime Minister Carney is leading things, given the way the Major Projects Division has been set up, given the way the entire all-of-government approach where not just the federal government with NRCan minister leading the way, or even the provincial governments, when I speak to Daniel Smith or to Scott Moe or to any other, or even David Eby, all of them are really clear that Canada needs to put in place an infrastructure which can utilize its energy resources to the maximum possible, not just for Canada, but for the rest of the world.
That alignment has given me a lot of hope as well, because for a long time it was missing. When you think about the potential, you talked about getting that energy to the last mile in India, because not everybody's connected today. Can you speak a little bit about what makes you hopeful about what getting that connection and getting that secure supply means for the young people of India?
Like I told you, we are a young nation. We are 1.4 billion plus, and we have almost about 750 million youngsters below the age of 25, which is a huge number. Our average age today of the country is 27 years only.
Wow.
And so this is an aspirational class. And so I'll just to give you numbers, we today consume about 15 million air conditioners a year. That's a kind of sales of 15 million air conditioners a year. And that's only about 7% of our requirements.
Wow.
And so as we become richer, as we become more progressive, we are a hot country. We're looking at, in the next 5 years, selling about 30 million air conditioners a year. Now, 30 million air conditioners new coming every year would look at the energy requirements for just that. And so for my Prime Minister, it's very clear. Every Indian has to have access to energy, apart from access to food and access to other facilities of life. Energy is so critical. So access to energy in all forms. When we talk about LPG, the reason we have today 330 million plus households linked to energy is because of a scheme he started where we gave cylinders at subsidized rates so that people can replace their traditional cooking system of, they used to use firewood and other things to move to LPG. And that has changed the way households behave in the country. Women are much more now liberated, because earlier having to bring firewood, having to do everything, it's much more easier.
And it's cleaner.
And it's cleaner.
For breathing.
And so these initiatives will continue, because my Prime Minister is very clear, we need to reach every last person with energy. And for that, we will do whatever it takes.
Wow. Well, that is exciting, and I hope Canada can be a partner in making that happen. If you had to say one thing, we've talked a lot about policy, to the average Canadian who might not be totally knowledgeable about LNG or how Canada could help the world, what would you say to them?
Number one, you're sitting on some of the resources which the world needs. And you have also those resources at the lowest carbon intensity. So when you are doing oil and gas, or you are selling your energy resources to the world, you're actually doing the world a favor. So it's not as if you're polluting the world more. You're actually doing a favor, because LNG is cleaner than using coal. And so for us, moving away from coal, moving away from polluting industries, moving away from others, it's much better for us to use LNG from Canada, to use green hydrogen, to use nuclear. So for us, if I have something to say to the Canadian people, is be proud of your resources and have them available to the world to use, because that way you will be doing a great favor to the world.
That's a wonderful point to end on. High Commissioner, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.